Hey guys, and welcome to an episode of The Brick Life. I'm Matt.
And I'm Mark.
And today we're going to be showing you an event that we went to back in February at Manchester Central, Bricktastic.
Now this video unfortunately did take a while for it to get edited, so it has took a few months to get out there. It's because we are focusing at the moment on our own Lego city, but we wanted to go through this and just show you some clips of some of the models that we thought were most interesting at this event.
Yeah, so some highlights of what we thought was fantastic to see. Like this one here at the minute, this is a mock of a train station with a bit of a London Underground theme. So, this is a great example of what you can do with Lego trains. Now, this one was actually automated, so it used sensors built into the bottom of the trains to signal which direction the train should be travelling, when it should stop, and not crash into each other. So it was fantastic seeing all the themed buildings and vehicles that went along with this railway. You've got the main train station, you've got underground tunnels, and even it looks like an Amtrak style American double-decker train at the back there, and also a London Underground and mock design. So this was a fantastic example of what you can do with Lego trains. Now, with Lego trains, you also need a lot of space, and it's the same thing for a fairground.
So here we have obviously the fairground. This was on the entrance as soon as you went in on the right hand side, so this was just after the train set. This fairground really blew me away. This is obviously something that I want to include in my own Lego city, so we have started collecting a few of the Lego sets, but this was just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Most of these are mocks, so there's a couple of there that are genuine Lego sets, like the Ferris wheel, and a couple of others, and the spinner. But most of them were all Lego mocks built by I think it was husband and wife team that have built this. They've got the music playing in the background, they've got custom vehicles, bumper cars there. So yeah, this was an absolutely fantastic event. So this one here was actually built by another husband and wife couple, and is a great example of using two Lego roller coaster sets in the theme of Harry Potter.
So throughout this set, as you can see, there's Hagrid's hut. So there are a couple of other scenes throughout there. As you can see, there's Devil's Snare, and you can see Fluffy on the top there. There's a dragon. There's a couple of the witches and wizards as well flying around, so they're playing Quidditch. It's obviously called Gringotts Coaster, so that's after Gringotts Bank. It was just great to see some Harry Potter incorporated into a Lego Creator Expert set. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. So this one is another great example of what you can do with Lego trains. Now this one was actually built by a group of people to build a set that was so big. You've got lots of different types of trains on here, so you've got some older diesels on there, you've got some steam engines, you've got Thomas the Tank Engine down there at the back, and a couple of diesels I think that were from like the 1960s. So a real variety of trains. And these were all actually brick built, so they're not the ones that you can actually get from Lego themselves. You've got the train yards here, so you can obviously wait, the trains are going to get repaired and refilled with coal. And you've even got Rachel there bringing out coffee for the train drivers. So another nice train, a steam train going past there with brick-built carriages, and an absolutely huge train station and train repair yard down there at the back. Now, just at the back of there, you can actually see the main train station there. So they were all custom-built models.
Now down here there's like a runway of a lot of built minifigures. So these are all made out obviously of a lot of bricks, and they range from anything to just normal standard minifigures, medics, garage guys, Shell.
I love the Thunderbirds ones there. You've got the full Thunderbirds team there. I think they look absolutely fantastic, and they are quite large. They're probably like, about 2 foot high each?
Yeah, they were definitely quite big.
Yeah, so really, really great to see, real variety. This must have took someone absolutely ages to build one of these, and just the number of bricks that are involved, must be absolutely immense. You've got some of the original Lego spacemen there at the end.
As well as Jango Fett, of course.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. So moving on, we've got some Lego brick built animals.
So on here, as you can see, there's a lion, we've got a hippo, elephant. On the back there on the shelf you can see a shark, and then we've got a Free Willy / whale. You've got a little mouse at the top. these animals were just fantastic, and later on we'll show you some more around the other side.
Yeah, these look absolutely fantastic. You've got the gorilla there. I think the gorilla was probably my favourite, to be honest, and even a polar bear at the end. Now, this was a building, again, built entirely from brick by a group of friends, a team. I think it was inspired by a university somewhere, but it looks, look at the attention to detail, the use of the chains there for the walkways. You've got the guards, monitoring the entrance to it. And I think from the inside, you can actually get to the back of it. It was actually open at the back. And this was one of my all-time favourites. I've actually started building a mock inspired by some of these here scenes that you can see here. So we've got the Octan refueling station / refinery, the Octan offices, and a power station / power lines there. And I've actually taken those three mocks there and tried to make something of my own for our own Lego city that will be videoing and showing you guys soon. So make sure to like and subscribe to this video to see what that when it comes out.
And then as we move on, we come into a Lego zoo. And this zoo was amazing. It was drawing in so many crowds. Looking at all the animals, you could have spent at least an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, just taking in all the little detail from this zoo.
Yeah, the detail in this is absolutely immense, and the lady that was actually has actually made that, I think she's called Fiona, actually followed us on Instagram and hopefully our YouTube channel, because we posted about this, and she was really impressed with the photos and video that we took of her zoo. Now, it incorporated as many animals as you could possibly find. It was just absolutely fantastic. Now, one of my all-time favourite themes of Lego is the Jurassic series, so Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. So these brick-built and Technic-built dinosaurs were absolutely amazing to see. Just the realism in the model is, unbelievable, to be fair, when you're up close and personal with these models. The bones, the structure, the skulls, they looked absolutely real. You couldn't really tell that they were built out of Lego. And there was a complete variety of dinosaur fossils and bones here. So you got like a T-Rex skull at the end here. So these are what in the film they refer to as the compies, the rats of the dinosaur world, that elite the scraps of pretty much anything. And then you've got a Triceratops head at the end here. Now this was absolutely massive. So it must have took the person who's made these absolutely ages to build. So just the level of detail, if you look at all the individual pieces there, the use of the parts to make these dinosaur fossils was brilliant. The part usage was unbelievable.
Yeah, so as you can see, they've done some bumblebees, and they had some more insects, some spiders, some dragonflies. They had a bit of fruit on here as well, and some food. I don't think we got any pictures or videos of the food, unfortunately. And then if we move around to the back, so we moved on to the table opposite, they had some of these which I thought were really creative, really fun to look at. They had a Nintendo and obviously an old record player there. And then we move over to the back, so there's a small mock here of Aladdin's cave. As you can see, Aladdin is flying on his carpet there, and you can see Genie behind him. And of course there's a cave there that's full of all wonders and treasures. I thought this just looked quite fantastic. It was amazing.
Now, this mock was one of the biggest at the actual event. So you've got like a scene of a city going on here. So you've got an electrified train. And then up here, you've got literally loads and loads of stormtroopers, all sat in front of a meeting of, looks like the Jedi Council, is it? I'm not quite sure. Mark, over to you on this one.
Yeah, so it looks like there's some Jedi and Sith Lords in there. You can see R2-D2. I'm not too sure what this was, why they were all in there. I'm guessing it's an opera house of some sort. I think it is something to do with an opera house from Ireland, maybe. But yeah, so just the fact that they infused Star Wars with this, it just cheered me up and made me smile so much.
And then moving on to, again, a huge mock. So this one was a bit of a mix of like the countryside with trains whizzing round. You've got a farmyard happening, farmyard going on here, and also some industrial stuff at the side. I think there's some tree logging at the far side there. And in the middle, you've got this ginormous valley, all brick built, with a waterfall.
So we're moving on to this now. So this is a medieval scene. This was very long, like the amount of detail that they've put into this set, and it goes on, it stretches for quite a lot of tables. So this was actually built by a collaborative group called the Northern Brickworks, and since going to this event and seeing this build, we have now actually become members ourselves.
Yeah, so the level of attention to detail from everything from the battle at the front to the castle walls, and you've got the archers there on top of the turrets, and then behind the walls you've got the village centre, the heart of a kingdom, if you like, with all these medieval buildings. And just look at the attention to even just the roads, the stone built roads. And the brick-built roofs. This was a really interesting one. These houses here, if you look at the roofs, you've got those like jagged roof tiles, and that was a really cool trick of only half pressing the brick down. We learnt, so some real creative use of brick to create this scene.
Yeah, so they've used some vents on the top of these roofs just to make it look a bit like straw roofs or hatched roofs. And then throughout, there's just so many buildings in here that you can pick up on. Like I say, you could spend hours looking at some of these models. They're just fantastic. And then if we come further to the back of this selection, this reminds me of the Downton Abbey home, like a stately home.
Yeah, it looks really, really clever. Just look at the length of that. There's probably 3 or 4 tables worth of length here. It must have took them literally weeks and weeks and weeks to build this. And at the very end there, you've got the horses and the knights having a jousting competition at the end of that mock.
So if you sneak behind one of the streets that was on display, you actually managed to see Diagon Alley as well. Now this is one of my favourites. I love Diagon Alley. You can see Gringotts Bank there at the back. Now some of these I think have been built from the Diagon Alley set that LEGO have, and a lot of this is mock, so a lot of people have obviously put to build this up. Now there is some other characters that are dotted around in there that aren't necessarily from Harry Potter, so there was Doctor Strange, Iron Man. It was just a fantastic set and something that you could spend, again, a long time looking at.
Moving on to something a bit more British, if you like. So this is the Houses of Parliament. Again, it looks like it's built on a bit of a micro scale. So you've got Big Ben there and the Palace of Westminster. And at the front there, you've got the Palace Gardens. So yeah, look at the attention to detail. Like all at a mini scale, something a bit more manageable. A lot of these mocks that you see are huge and take up an enormous amount of space. So it's nice to see something sometimes of a micro scale. But still, the attention to detail is fantastic and captures the real essence of Westminster. So, looking at the front there, you've got the entrance there for the politicians, and just Big Ben and the Elizabethan Tower just look fantastic at that scale.
So as you can see here, this looks like another micro scale city, and some of the buildings on here look like they've been inspired from real buildings that are around the world. The cars as well, I'm not sure if you can notice, but they look like they've all been built on jumpers and a 1x1 tile, just to obviously capture the micro scale size of it. There's a hospital there, looks like a library.
Like that helicopter on top.
Yeah, a little helicopter flying through, and then there's just some more buildings dotted around here and there. I think it looks fantastic when it's all put together.
Yeah, just look at the attention to detail there. You've got a river or a canal in the middle. You've got a little church here. Oh, we've got a drive-in cinema showing Dory there. Finding Nemo. So, if you look at this scale of detail that's in these models, these are a much, much more manageable size than, a full-scale Lego city that we all, aspire to build. These things you can actually achieve an awful lot, but just at a smaller scale.
And then we take a trip over to Mars, or we would like to say Mars. We don't know what planet we're on actually here. The light work on this runway was amazing. I thought it was fantastic. There's not too much, it just lights up the runway enough. This was incredible. It was huge. It was absolutely massive. And there's not a lot of minifigures or a lot of scenes going round on here, but what you could see was amazing. It was fantastic. You had this like radar system that was spinning round.
I just love the motorised effects of it. Just the number of bricks that there must be in this mock. It must be in the millions, easily. It must be in the millions. And we actually got the chance to look around the back side of this mock, because it's actually this is actually a small part of what will become a much bigger model by this group of people who are building it. You've got them doors at the back yet there. They actually go into or what will lead to a hangar. So you can see at the back here, this is the start of them building, you know, the hangar of this spaceport or space station on this planet here. And I would hate to guess how many red bricks are actually in this model.
Yeah, it must be millions.
This is another side of it, so this is another part of it, which is actually incorporating a bit of a roller coaster. So you could actually set off the cart, if you see that whizzing past there, and the cart comes through the mountain and back down to the bottom. And we actually got to have a go at putting setting the cart off there. There we go. Set the cart off, and great use of the roller coaster. It's a bit like a mine, if you like, you know, where they dig up gold and things like that, but on this alien planet.
They had a little scene inside here, so the cart actually doesn't go through there motorised, but it's just a little cutout on the side of there, so you can see all the workers. Obviously you can tell that those are Kylo Ren masks from Star Wars.
Now this one was probably one of my favourite, because it actually incorporates the genuine LEGO city models. So you can actually see the Emporium there, you've got the corner garage, you've got the detective's office and Assembly Square, and at the very end there you've got the pet shop and the Palace Theatre. Now, I really like the LEGO city models, and we're actually building our own LEGO city. So this setup was, you know, really, really great to see, because this is what we are aspiring to do. Now, our LEGO city is growing every single day, and you know, these LEGO models take up an enormous amount of space. So seeing that with the trains running around and everything really inspired us to get going with our LEGO city, and hopefully, as I say, don't forget to subscribe to see that coming soon, because we're actually having a room built and converted into a proper LEGO city room, so we'll be doing lots of videos on that in the coming weeks. So while LEGO has a huge Star Wars theme, we don't actually have any Star Trek models, so it was nice to see that somebody has mocked up some of the ships from the Star Trek sagas. Great uses of parts, I know I keep saying that, but it really is great to see what other people can do with the same bricks as somebody else. So the USS Jeffries there in brick built form. And as I said earlier on, Jurassic Park is one of my favourite films of all time, and this was a great mini-scale or micro-scale of an entire Jurassic Park scene. So you've got the visitor centre there, you've got the main gates, you've got the Velociraptor pen, you've got the cars, you've got the forklift truck delivering the Velociraptor from the very first scene of the movie, you've got the helicopter landing there. And just look at the detail on that visitor centre. You know, not many bricks used, but an excellent use of bricks in this micro-scale model. And you've managed to capture pretty much every important scene from the movie.
So this was on the same stand, and there's a Halo scene that's also done in micro scale. We've got a Star Wars Millennium Falcon, and there is a couple more Star Wars scenes on here. It's just great to see how such little bricks can convey a big story, a big part of a big scene from a huge franchise.
Now, this one was the Ark. Now, I don't know if this is taken from a film or a movie or anything like that, but it was actually like, you know, it's obviously a space-themed build, but it had everything to do with life built into this rotating structure. So you've got greenhouses here, you've got, you know, living accommodation, absolutely everything that you would need to live in space. You've got trees, and it's rotating to obviously simulate gravity, but that is an absolutely fantastic model, and how they've motorized that as well, you know, is incredible.
Okay, so now we head over to the planet Endor. So now we're on Star Wars. Obviously this is massive, this scene that they've built up here. You've got some speeder bikes going around, you've got some trees there from the Ewoks, like the Ewok village. You've got an AT-ST hiding in the corner. There's Chewbacca, Stormtroopers, Han Solo. This just contains so much detail, and for me, being a massive Star Wars fan, it was really great to see this modular, this mock, sorry. Everywhere you looked, you could see detail and a different part of the story, and I think they've even got a motorised waterfall there in the background. And now I really, really want to build a motorised waterfall, and I think there's one coming up on the next Bricklink Designer Programme, which I'm really excited to get. So here you can see a mock that was designed for Harry Potter's. Now this was inspired by a theatre, so in front of this there was like a audience all sat down watching, and then the scenes were just spinning round on this turntable to obviously display scenes throughout the movies. Now as you can see there's Harry receiving his letter from Hogwarts, and he was speaking to Hagrid. We've got Privet Drive there with a letter being pushed through the door. And then moving on through to the next scene, there is a wizard's class or a witch's class going on there. He's got Draco Malfoy and Harry Potter and some spells. He's got the rat and some other students in there as well.
I just love the potion vials there on the set, and is that Professor Snape in the corner? It was a really great example of ingenuity.
And then this little guy, so Grogu, Baby Yoda, he was on the desk as you went into the Bricktastic event. So he was on the welcoming desk. On the right hand side as well, they had some hot air balloon stands, and there was some scenes in there that were amazing.
So this is just a selection of some of the other models that we saw. So we've got some Super Mario there and some Pokemon, and we just want to say a huge thank you to the organisers of the Bricktastic event. It must have taken literally weeks and weeks and weeks of organising and getting all these groups of people and creators together to put on such a fantastic display. We also it is also a great way of increasing your own Lego collection, because they actually have sellers there that sell both new and retired sets. So we spent an absolute fortune on retired sets that we've always wanted to collect, and we were able to at this event. So these places are a great way to increase your own Lego collection. So don't forget to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this video, and let us know in the comments down below if you went to Bricktastic, and if you went, what was your favourite model? I think for me it was the fairground, so the huge fairground, and probably the Jurassic Park mini model. And Mark, what did you enjoy?
For me, I would say I really did enjoy the fairground, but I'm going to go with the Star Wars Endor. I think that was one of my absolute favourite, because I am a huge Star Wars fan. Well everyone, so we've just come out of the Bricktastic event for Manchester 2022, and it was absolutely amazing. It was my first event, and I must say I am blown away. We obviously managed to get some shopping.
Lots of shopping.
Make sure you subscribe to check out what we've got coming up soon.
Bye.
Bye.